Welcome, everybody. Once again, we're back from vacation. Thanksgiving was good. I'm still full. With that said, let's just get the show on the road. Bring in my numero dos. Sliding in like the Collins. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Christmas edition.
It's Christmas time in the pit. I hope you've all been nice or nice.
How's it going, man?
Will we be at GCW8? Gosh, GCW8 tomorrow. I work Saturday, so
yeah, y'all. I hope y'all aren't asking me that question because I don't know if y'all. When the last time there was a GCWA show that I was not at. I will be front and center at the entrance, as always. Looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good show, but we'll talk about that as we go through the show.
We got several things to talk about.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks to catch up on too. So who knows what all is gonna pop up. So let's just get it going and start off what we do. Bring in from the shadows, Mr. B Ninja himself. How are you guys?
How? Season so far.
COVID sucks. 2020 is over. Let's go. Get over it.
Since 2020-ish too. So fuck that's up. But yeah, this week from pro games that will happen to everything that's happening in AEW. And speaking of which, that's what leads to B Ninja's Meeting of the Week for the 3rd of December for 2020. I'm giving it to someone that's just been too legit to quit. And I'm talking about legit Layla Hirsch herself. So for those you don't know, she's been born in Moscow. And as they said on commentary in AEW at the age of 8, she moved into the States in the Jersey area. And as a teenager in 2013, she basically attended school and basically trained as a legit, pun intended, collegiate wrestler. And for 4 years straight, that she's been one of the top tier collegiate athletes. And in 2017, she went full pro, trained at CCW with DJ Hyde, and had a couple of matches in there, especially one with the GOAT herself, Mercedes Martinez, and one of Juan's favorites, numero uno's, Savannah Stone down there. And during her short time as a professional wrestler, she instantly traveled throughout the seas in regards of exposing herself as one of the legit up-and-coming wrestlers. I mean, she's already done Japan for Stardom. Even competed in Kagetsu's retirement match down there and had some legit matches down there. She even been down here to Texas right here for Sabotage Wrestling, Heavy Metal Wrestling, and even the Ladies Night Out show was where she wrestled Lindsay Snow at that show right there. And she continues to be impressive. And the reason why she's my woman of the week is she got to be showcased in a match against Dr. Britt Baker, where she continues to show her prowess in the ring. And when AEW continues to bring talent that hasn't been on the national level as far as like exposures to television outside of the YouTubes, because Layla Hirsch, as you saw on the record, her first few losses were against one of them to the AEW Women's Champion, and continued to put on clinics in regards of who she's in the ring with. You want to talk about a female equivalence to Kurt Angle right now? Keep looking at Layla Hirsch, and you got yourself one that's right there. And the fact that she, even though she's not particularly part in the upcoming feud, which will be covered more in the AEW portion of our show, but wrestling companies better not sleep on this young up-and-comer I was about to say screw Pile Driver because since she's from Russia, I would compare her to Sangia from Street Fighter, but that's not the point. But Layla Hirsch is definitely more legit than Zangief. I will give them that. I prefer Rainbow Mika as a video game wrestler. That's a different story, different time. But as far as my moment of the week this week, Layla Hirsch, you get it. Keep being legit and keep being the suplex technical machine that is.
Great segment, Brandon.
Dropping knowledge on the new talent that people probably wondering who she was when they saw her on AEW this week. And they need to learn. Very cool, man.
Well, one comment we just saw was the Texas Wrestling Review. You should, because right now a poll that we've all been tagging, refs, best feud. So if you haven't voted on Texas Wrestling Review, you should. This is your chance to get your local favorites out and let them be known. So shout out to Texas Wrestling Review for doing that. I've been trying to give my peeps some shout outs where I could.
All right, and before I give my honorary secondary woman of the week to Jazz for popping up on Impact Wrestling this past Tuesday, coming off.
Jazz has already been the woman of the week, Brandon.
I said secondary because we can't ignore the fact that she is and still y'all be nice to Jazz or she'll come in this pod and whoop your ass. So be careful.
No, that's true. That's true, but it's woman of the week.
But this is women's wrestling, so sometimes I gotta acknowledge more than just one. Layla's is this week, but I also want to acknowledge Jazz on her debut in Impact Wrestling. But anyway, I ain't wasting more of you guys' time, so I'll hop back to the channels. And Paul,
bam! Hey, shout out to Jazz though. I don't mean to downplay Jazz's accomplishments at all. She's a beast. I'm really excited to see her on Impact. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time to talk. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Numero Dose's Christmas Corner. I'm happy you guys are all here with me today. I don't have any deathmatch news this week. I know none of you really care about it anyway, but I like it, and Juan likes it, and some of us like it. But this week, we got nothing for you. But I do want to talk about our backyard, hometown territory, whatever you want to call it, school, AAPW this weekend. It's the years. It's their 2020 finale. A lot of things have culminated up to this point, but one match I'm super excited about. If you've been following the pit and if you've been on social media, Greenback and Nastico have been mad trash talking to each other forever. I would say it's safe to say that Greenback has been talking shit since all of his promos come from a bathroom. I don't know why you're in the bathroom all the time, Greenback, but I can dig it. It's cool. Anyway, there's been a lot of heat. Nastico showed up to AAPW a few weeks back and surprised Greenback with the kendo sticks in the back. This match has just been a few weeks in the making. It's time that Greenback and Nastico step in the ring once for all and settle this shit. Greenback is tagging with T-Ray. Nastico is tagging with Angel Camacho. My money on this one is in the match. My winner for this one is T-Ray and Greenback. And the reason I think that T-Ray and Greenback are going to take this one is because of T-Ray. Greenback is fucking useless. He's not great at promos. He's not great at much. He's just not great overall. Like, no offense, Greenback. You suck. You know that. I've told you before. But it's cool. I'm with it. Like, you brought the smoke, and you're here for the fight, and I love it. But I think T-Ray takes the win on this one. Poor Nastico. I think Nastico won in the promos, but that's the way it goes. The other thing I want to shout out is Lucha Legion is going to get another taste of Warsaw and Vega this coming weekend. It's going to be a rematch for the tag titles that are on the line. Warsaw can't read, so apparently he didn't understand the stipulations in the first match, and so they're going to give him a rematch against Lucha Legion. I don't think he deserves it because Warsaw also can't count to 3, but whatever. Him and Vega's pretty cool. It's going to be a great match. My winner of that one's going to be Lucha Legion. I think they're going to take it and hold on to the titles. Lastly, Steve Orino is going to be featured in the match. I didn't get the art for that one. I'm really sorry, but I'm excited about that one as well. And if you're in town or if you're anywhere near town this weekend, you should come up to AAPW. check it out. The family's there. A couple militia members are going to be there with us. It'll be great to have all of you. And if nothing else, have yourself a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That's good. Yeah, you never know.
This is my I need a picture. It's one of my favorite things. Anyway, ho.
Yeah, you never know when the militia people are going to show up at shows.
I love it.
Everywhere. They're everywhere. If you watched AEW, the countdown sign, yeah, Juanita, that's a militia member there, right on AEW. Almost every Wednesday, she's there at every show. So yeah, we're everywhere.
Oh
cool,
yeah,
man.
Part of the fan.
Oh,
a family team right there.
They're
my favorite tag team. Hottest tag team in Texas. El Rayo, Luchador Insane. Those are my boys. I think I'm over in Juan's time slot. So my bad, Juanito.
Yeah, and I think that goes without saying how much we are definitely Mark's friend. Well, since we're apologizing to numero uno, let's bring him in so you can tell him right to his face. After he unmutes himself.
I don't know. I kind of like this.
You like the muted version?
Yeah, you can't hear
you can't hear all the things.
It's nice. Oh man. It's tough to work on a computer when you get old.
I don't know. Let me see if I can unmute him. It won't.
You put him back.
Okay.
I want.
Is it fixed now?
Take two.
Okay, let's get to work. So we this week AAA announced their big event of the year, which was supposed to take place in August. It's gonna take place on the 12th of December, which is next week, I believe. Yeah. And from the match card that they announced, at least in my personal opinion, I'm not too excited about it. I feel like it's just any other show with the plus of having Kenny Omega. But yeah, let me give you the rundown. So in the first match, as usual, AAA likes to have their openers as the mix of a little bit of everything. So we're going to have Niño Hamburguesa, Máximo, and Mr. Iguana versus El Poder del Norte, which is Tito Santana, Carta Brava Jr., Mocho Cota Jr. That's going to be a fun match. You can't really, expect much of it. It's going to be like the opener, but all those guys are really fun to watch. And so it should be okay. It should be a good match. Second match, and I have an issue with this match. So they have the Lucha Brothers, and they have Octagon Jr., and Carístico, Mysticis, whatever his name is, Junior versus Tejano and Rey Escorpion. There's a lot of good talent in this match for it to be the second match of the show.
Yeah.
And to me, it just seems kind of odd that the Lucha Brothers are going to be in the second match. But anyways, AAA thing. The third match, for the first time ever, they're gonna have the Triple Mania tournament, which is gonna be an all-female tournament for one. I don't know if it's one time, but I know for sure it's the first time they do this. They usually have like 20 to 30 participants, and they throw them out in the ring and they fight each other. But this time it's just gonna be 6 contestants and all female. So my pick for this match, I like to see Lady Maravilla take this match. Fourth match. This is another very random match, like just AAA pull out of their ass. The reunion of the Psycho Circus, which is Psycho Clown, Monster Clown, and Murder Clown, versus Blue Demon Jr., Ella Park, and Hijo de la Park. This match has no history behind it, no storyline, no anything. Like I said, just AAA just pulling very random matches. And I mean, the guys are good, but just a very random match.
But matches.
The fifth match. This is gonna be very interesting. Marvel has a partnership with AAA, and they came up with their own characters. There's a total of 7 Marvel, and I wouldn't say AAA specifically, but lucha crossover. And this is the 4th that they're gonna present at the Triple Mania show, which is Leyenda Americana, Aragno, Terror Púrpura, and Benoide. They haven't released the names of the people who are gonna be portraying those characters, and I doubt they'll release it. So it'll be kind of fun to play like the guessing game and trying to figure out who each wrestler is, based on their either movesets or tattoos or skills or whatever. But anyways, it should be good. Also, if you are a Funko fan and a Lucha fan, the January mystery box is gonna be Lucha Team. So, and you can already pre-order it in Amazon. I already did. So let's hope I get something cool. I don't usually do those things, but I'm a crazy Lucha fan, so I had to. The next match, Kenny Omega versus Laredo Kid. This is gonna be a good match. A lot of high flying, crazy spots. Y'all AEW fans, of course, y'all love Kenny Omega. Lucha fans love Laredo Kid. Both are very athletic, very skilled guys. So this is gonna be probably the match of the night. Could be candidate. In my opinion, this is one of the matches I'm looking forward to the most. Sadly, probably I won't be able to watch Triple Mania because I'll be in the middle of the woods in Colorado. But hopefully I can catch it as soon as I get back to Austin. And the main event, Pagano versus Chessman, hair versus hair match. This match is being built. It's been going on for a while. They have been fighting each other, beating the shit out of each other. I guess pretty good about building the rivalry. But this match comes at a bad timing, in my opinion, due to the comments that were made by a lucha legend called Pirata Morgan, where he pretty much explained what goes on backstage and how all those matches are decided who the winner are, whatever. So still, the match will be great. There's of course, Pagano is a dead match guy. He does hardcore, extreme lucha. So does Pagano. Pagano usually takes some crazy spots. So does Chessman, who has for all the crazy things he does, like falling out cages and shit like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see him go one-on-one. At the biggest event of the year. Oh, the event is gonna be a closed door, and they're gonna stream it live in so many different platforms, including YouTube and I believe Facebook as well. This is the whole card, and in there you have all the information you might need. So yeah, like I say, it's a very random event. Matches, in my opinion, they're like what you could expect from AAA at any other regular show, plus Kenny Omega. So regardless, it should be a fun show. And if you can watch it, you should. It's gonna be free. So who's it not to free?
That's the best price. That's the best price for everybody, right?
I love free.
Hard to fight that one.
So yeah, that's all I got for today.
That is kind of cool. As he faded away.
Yep.
Very cool, man.
That's all I got, and I'll see you not next week, but the week after.
Good luck with everything, buddy. I'll see you this weekend.
I'll see you on Saturday.
Very cool, man. Be safe.
Thank you.
I guess we won't talk about what he's going to go do next week. We'll let him bring that up if he wants to. It's his personal business.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just move on. Yeah. So there was a thing that happened yesterday in the wrestling world that I think kind of blew up everybody's wrestling groups. Any page you follow regarding wrestling probably just exploded yesterday. And I think we have someone coming on that can probably shed some light on what happened yesterday. Our AEW expert. How's it
What
going?
happened yesterday? What?
It's like the internet almost.
So winter is coming. Winter came on everybody. It was a snowstorm literally in Jacksonville last night. I mean, if you didn't mark out to Sting coming out, then I don't even know. Are you even a wrestling fan? I mean, come on. It was pretty much the highlight. I think it got everybody like just pumped. And then leading into the main event, forget it. I mean, you were already hyped, you were ready for the match, you were ready for the show. It was great. I enjoyed Dynamite immensely. It almost felt like a pay-per-view show, even from the way it started with the whole like eliminations and people being sneaky, going under ropes, factions sticking together, factions going against each other. I don't know. To me, it felt like a pay-per-view kind of a show, free.
Yeah, it was stacked.
It had that caliber feel to
Yeah,
it.
it was.
We were hearing everything back, like even watching Sting show up, everything like that. Very pay-per-view feel.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
Just
it's
yeah, and even the theatrics involved of even leading into the show, the theatrics of it all. The winter is coming, and then of course when Sting comes out, it's they had the snow coming down in the arena, which was amazing. I need that all the time now for his entrances. So just like the fires there for Cody, they better keep like the snow there for Sting. It just added something to it. Very big show feel. That is America's ass. You're absolutely right, Elijah. And hello, Elijah, by the way. But yeah, I loved AEW from like beginning to end. AEW delivered. I enjoyed it immensely. There were a couple of hard, just big old mark out moments. I popped hard for when Sting came out, and of course when Kenny Omega won. I mean, I jumped. And then when, Don Callis was right there helping him out, and they're talking about, we'll see you next week on Impact. I was like, wait, what? That's the way you're going to leave it? I loved it. Yeah.
That was my biggest moment of the night. I mean, I love Sting, but yeah.
Yeah.
Having companies work together.
Exactly. It's very territory, back old days territory feel where people are working together. I love that. Yeah, it really is. I love immediately on Twitter as soon as it was announced. And she was making her dream happen.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. It's like,
that to me was like awesome.
Yeah. They're already working with NWA. Now you're bringing in Impact, AEW. There's still rumors about them rekindling the New Japan relationship, which is still kind of kind of still there because of Mox. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I love it because it reminds me of back when I was a kid, when that's how wrestling was. You could watch any show and you never knew who was going to pop up. It didn't matter that they were, I'm talking Midwest and AWA and world class phase. Like, man, it just made me feel like a kid again. Which that's nice.
And that's what I love about this so far. Even Thunder Rosa made an appearance again last night on AEW, and she attacked Britt Baker. So we have that feud going on. Which I love is the fact that, okay, so now we have the NWA Women's Championship, or we have people from NWA coming in, and now we're going to be hopefully seeing Kenny Omega on Impact, and maybe we'll see Impact stars on AEW. I don't know how that's going to work. And of course, Kenny still holds the title for Mexico as well. I believe he still holds it.
Yeah, he does still have the Triple A championship.
So, okay, so he still holds it, the AAA. So, I mean, there's still contracts there, negotiations there for people to keep coming over and working with each other, which opens up the possibility, whether COVID, continues on longer, or even post COVID, there's a lot of ways this can go, where people either pop on over there or they pop up on AEW, which is amazing too for talent, because let's face it, no one's ever going to take down WWE, but you can compete with them. And I think this is the best way to do it, to compete with the big guys, is to, pull your resources and and the best way to do that is to work alongside the other companies. Impact has a great women's division. It has a great division. AEW's got a great tag division. Of course, AAA has a great lucha division. Those guys are doing great over there. So pulling your resources and having them work together can only help every single wrestler out, and of course company. But yeah,
all right. So here's the thing. You mentioned like you can't kill WWE, and this is where it comes into play. Like the WWE is the NFL, it's the NBA, it's Major League Baseball. It is in a sense, it's what's easy for people to get to and watch, and it's what's traditional for them. But if you really are a true hardcore fan of each of these sports, you know that that's not really where the most exciting things come from, or maybe that's not where the developmental talent comes from. Just like baseball, if you're not watching like Peru, Japan, Cuba, Puerto Rico, you're not really seeing what's going to come across and actually play in the league in 5 years. That's what AEW is trying to do, is say that whole concept is complete bullshit. We could absolutely all work together and make everyone stars. I thought it was brilliant. I love the combination with Impact. Yeah. Shout out to AEW for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, WWE is, let's face it, it's a little bit more watered down, and they take their independent stars, whether, they take the, Prince Devitt's and they turn them into Finn Balor's. And I feel like they never fully reach their full potential once they go over there. You have the Prince Pumas turning into Ricochets. And, and that's what I tell people, if you don't know them before WWE, go find them, because it's a totally different attitude. It's a totally different wrestler sometimes. And it just makes a big difference. If you don't know who Kevin Steen was before.
And
so
Leo Rush. Leo Rush
exactly.
was amazing. And then he got there and he was a manager for Lashley, who they've ruined numerous times.
Well, that's a really interesting point, because Leo Rush, right after he signed with WWE, he took a big shot, because Leo Rush was the Blackheart on the Indies. And the Blackheart has a years-long run as a story arc. And fans took this one spot of him going through, taking a powerbomb off a ladder into a table, and him getting up. And they were like, oh, it's bullcrap, so. And I'm like, no, he's the Blackheart. Like, that was the point.
Yes.
Like, and it's right to your point, that it's where a lot of good shit happens that people don't see.
Yeah, and I think that's but it's so much more accessible now, which is amazing with YouTube and stuff like that. So I know exactly the clip that you're talking about, because I saw it a couple of times, and I had to go back and look at it and be like, well, wait, that's because I saw the complaint and I understood it, but I was like, wait, after going back, I was like, wait, that he's supposed to be like that. I get it now.
And he immediately
I get why he no-sold it.
To the next move. The next move, the match was over. So it was just, and it's very common in the indie world, especially in deathmatch. Like, a kick out at one is a big deal. It's how somebody says, you're not putting me down that easy. It gives strength to the loser. And if you don't watch the whole match, if you took it out of context, it was bad. It was a good match. That was a good ending. Like, I love that you saw it. I love that you looked that up.
I did. I know exactly, because people, I was listening to people talk about how he no-sold something, and I think it was because of something he did in WWE, where about his attitude and blah blah blah, and that clip came up, and I was like, well, that has nothing to do with his attitude. That's talking about storytelling. Has nothing to do. But then again, what he's showing you as well, his attitude is also part of his character. So, people get worked, but they don't want to admit it, and I'm like, well,
exactly.
Sorry you got work, but
you worked yourself into a work, Mark. It's not my fault.
Exactly. Yeah, so Leo was just really good at his job. What can you say? You worked yourself into a work. And
it's a matter of time before Leo Rush shows up in AEW. The way that GCW is booking Leo Rush right now, with the connection they have with GCW through Janela, Leo Rush is going to show up in AEW too very soon.
Yeah, I mean, there's too much talent on GCW to not to not get the exactly. There's too much talent at GCW for AEW not to take notice, especially since Janela was already feeding them guys. So I mean, it's only a matter of time.
Of NXT performers is half former GCW guys. So you're
exactly
right. GCW's putting out product right now.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're even what they've put on the past couple of months, during COVID and outdoors. I mean, those were amazing matches. Those were great. Say what you want about whatever, but the matches they were putting on with the talent they had was amazing. I mean, I don't have to tell you, you guys were there.
It was great.
So I mean, it's been crazy.
It was good. All of it was good. Like those indies are really putting guys up, and I love that AEW's trying to create a scenario where they say, "Well, what if we work a little bit with everybody?" And WWE's we're saying, "Well, no, these are our guys. We took them, we made them, whatever." But I love it. It's good stuff. We could ramble on about WWE bullshit all day long on this show.
I know. But one last thing, and it's about AEW Dark. If you guys I keep telling everybody every week, it's great. They're trying to bounce between 12 to 15 matches. I know it's 2 hours, but it's on YouTube, so take your time. You can watch it throughout the week. You don't have to sit there one sitting like I do. But I love it because it's also introducing you to indie wrestlers that you may not be familiar with, and they're not changing their names. They're not changing their gimmicks. They're right there for you. A lot of Texas people showing up there. A lot of Florida peeps, obviously. But, if you don't know them, get to know them. Don't just sit there and comment, who the hell are these guys? It's dark. It's dark for a reason. Are they going to win? No, probably not. But are you going to get to see them work? Hell yes. And they're getting that exposure, so you can go back, look up their shows. So please, Google, YouTube is your friend. Stop commenting that you don't know who these people are. Go look them up.
Terrible.
You're funny.
It's so much talent, and I sometimes don't know the people on Dark, but I go and I look them up because man, some of those guys can work, and I cannot believe that they have not been on a bigger stage yet. So I'm really happy that AEW is giving these guys an opportunity.
Top Flight in AEW right now. Just shout out to them because Top Flight worked quite literally a ton of shows collective. I had to have seen those guys wrestle 7 or 8 times in those 3 days, and so
those guys are killer.
Yeah, good stuff. So much stuff. It's always so much stuff going on. It's awesome, though. It's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Top Flight are amazing. And the fact that only 19 and 21, amazing. And also, shout out to Matt Hardy putting out a new gimmick out. I didn't think he had any left, but he still got one in the barrel. And I'm sure 2 more. But yeah, shout out to Matt Hardy, man. His characters don't quit. He's a man of 1,000 faces.
He really is.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Mel. Well, thanks for the update, bringing this all up to speed on what happened yesterday on the internet, getting crashed.
Yeah.
All that. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys. See you later.
Okay. Yeah, that was a big show they had yesterday, and then
that was wild. I was shocked that they brought all that into a non-pay-per-view scenario.
They're trying to do things, man, and I love it. Cool. Well, I'll bring this comment back up. This can be his introduction. And that's all. What else we got to say? Welcome to it. That's how we roll here, man.
Can you ban Elijah from further comments after that for me?
I can maybe just not put him on the screen, I guess.
Yeah. You know what? No, I don't want to steal anybody else's gimmick, but if people keep comparing me to Captain America, I guess there's worse people to be compared to. So I mean, it is what it is. He's one of he's like genetically designed to be like the perfect human. So I guess if people want to say I'm like Captain America, there are worse insults for sure.
Much better than things that I've been compared to in my life. Let me tell you.
But I don't know if that's what we're getting at here. But either way, if I can make money off it, I'm going to try to somehow.
There you go. I'm sure there's a shirt there somewhere.
Yeah,
there's always a shirt.
Yeah.
Always a shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how's it going, man?
Everything's great, man. Thank you guys for having me, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming to the pit.
Yeah, I hope everyone out there is doing pretty well. I want to say I'm just super excited about everything that's happening with wrestling, but I'm also, there's that sort of nervousness and angst that comes with, everything that's happening right now, because a lot of shows are getting canceled and then moved back and stuff like that. So it's hard to gauge, but I feel like there's momentum, at least for me personally, which, I got to be grateful for that. Right.
So everybody kind of finds themselves on a different place in the meter with like COVID, like how they respond as a talent. Where would you say you kind of put yourself? Like, are you somebody that goes out there and wrestles, or like, how do you feel about everything?
It's an emotional roller coaster. I know I'm not the only one who felt like the timing couldn't have been worse, or whatever, which almost sounds insensitive to say, because again, I've been very thankful, or I've been very, very fortunate not to be dealing with health issues personally and stuff like that. But when it first started and all the shutdown happened, I swear it's like the universe was like ribbing me. I mean, I had like 6 shows coming up. Like I had the busiest my schedule's ever been. And, it was cool. These promoters were putting me on flyers, and I still have an album just whenever I want to get depressed of all the flyers I was on that never ended up happening. Yeah. So never happened. So yeah, it's been an emotional roller coaster. That first month or two, my body was happy to take a break. And then I started to miss everything. Miss being in the ring, miss the shows. And then since it started slowly coming back in August, September, it's still been a bit of a roller coaster. I think, again, I can't be the only one that's having trouble adapting a little bit emotionally, if you will, to some of the pre-tape shows with no fans and stuff like that. But it's where wrestling was in a way moving anyway. So it's interesting. It sort of just expedited the process. The coolest thing about pro wrestling is it adapts. Right. Like it always changes. So I look at it like in a way, a very positive thing that I am, when you go to, school for 4 years or 10 years and you learn a trade that then is no longer useful. The cool thing about pro wrestling is I don't think it'll ever die. It's never going away. And this is proof, right? If you doubted me when I said that a year ago, you can't doubt me anymore. Right. Because it's almost in some weird ways thriving a little bit. Yeah. So when TV was invented, I'm not some wrestling historian, but I'm pretty sure they thought wrestling was going to disappear. And then when the internet came around, people thought wrestling was going to disappear. And so it's the same thing. The industry's thriving, so I'm very optimistic. Me personally, I am getting out there. I've done quite a lot since I'd say September, October, things started picking back up. Now they might be going the other way. I don't know, but I'm enjoying the added challenge, if you will. Smaller audiences. More spread out audiences, no audience when it's just a pre-tape show. I've been a part of a couple companies that are doing I don't know how to describe it. Basically, if you saw Undertaker's match at WrestleMania, right, where wrestling is evolving into a whole new thing, right? So I've actually been a part of a couple matches like that now, where I just never would have guessed, at least not at this time, I'd be doing stuff like that. So in a weird way, it's fun, right? Having to try and adapt and change. So I'm all over the place, but to give you an answer to your question, yeah, I'm still getting out there, still doing stuff. Still got some stuff coming up for December and January and after that.
It amazes me how many fans kind of popped in just to kind of spitball off your point. And they were like, a lot of people cried out that the no fan arenas wrestling shouldn't be happening at all. Yeah. And I thought that was such a crock of shit, because to your point, like, there are people that this was the worst time, and talent-wise, obviously, like we wouldn't put health aside, but like talent-wise, like this was the worst time for this to have happened. Like I'm getting pushed, or I'm on a hot streak. How do you feel about people that just in general wanted wrestling to stop because it wasn't what they wanted? Like that wrestling fan, like how was dealing with that?
Hey, well, to each your own. I mean, I haven't felt that negativity directly or whatnot. Just cycle back to my other point where wrestling always adapts no matter what, and it just changes to the new medium, and it always comes with a high too. Again, I don't know, I'm not the greatest wrestling historian, but like all the golden ages and eras and stuff like that were, if you go back and look, were right when radio started, and then when TV started, and when the internet started, and now streaming is the next level up. I know it's the internet essentially, but streaming was right in 2018, 2019. So this was the direction it was going in anyway, focusing on streaming and YouTube and like I said, heavily edited matches and stuff like that. All these things were happening anyway. So that's all I would argue to a fan is if you don't like it, that's absolutely, you're entitled to that opinion. But I think it was going that way anyway, and this pandemic has sort of just expedited the process in a way. It's kind of inevitable, if you will.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, as long as everyone's safe, and the promoters I've worked with have been great about keeping the talent safe and everything, so that we can keep working and keep adapting. Like I said.
Oh yeah. I like to say if you can believe that a leg drop would finish a match, you can watch a match with no fans in the arena. Like that's my argument there. Like that's just where it's at.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, for sure. I mean, I've if you go outside behind a bar on a crazy Saturday night, there'd be two guys fighting with nobody watching them. I mean,
right? Exactly. Very true.
And there's a weird intensity to it because you can just hear the other guy breathing on the other side of the ring, and just this weird kind of even in a nicer venues I've been in, this grungy fight club environment. Like I said, it's just different. It's just different. It's the same but different, and I, in a weird way, I like parts of it. You know, it's much better than it stopping completely.
Yeah.
The parts that I've enjoyed the most is like you can actually hear, they can talk more. Kind of, exactly. We don't talk much about WWE, but like Roman Reigns, I think, has become such a better talent because you can hear him in the ring talking to the guy that he's kicking his butt. Like when it's 30,000 people screaming, you don't hear anything, you know. And now you hear everything.
It's like mic'd up. You remember when mic'd up came out, and all of a sudden you could hear all the trash talking the players were doing to each other?
Yeah.
It's very similar.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's the next level in storytelling for sure.
I think it also really exposes. Or not expose it, it brings a new level to the game because it's almost like an added thing that you guys now have to do because you have to have your own conversation with the other talent in the ring, but you also have to have a conversation that carries through the silence.
Yeah.
So I mean, is that weird for you? Have you felt that adjustment yet?
Yeah, I've had a few matches now where let's just say pro wrestling like it's got a lot harder, a lot more. The skill level, the skill requirement is much higher in a way, and so yeah, the talent has to adapt as the industry adapts, right? And so there's a million ways in which pro wrestling is probably a much easier industry to be a part of than the olden days. I've had a lot of vets. I believe it. I don't doubt that. We have so many advantages that guys from the 80s or whatnot would not have had. Way more advantages than disadvantages. But there are some ways, like you just mentioned, in which the skill requirement is getting a little bit higher.
Right.
A lot harder. There's a less room for error, if you will.
Well,
So,
I think keeping up with those changes is where you see the best talent kind of evolve. You know, like that's where you see the prop.
Like everything's just so analyzed and critiqued to like the nth degree, you know, now versus back when you just get a video back with the tape sharing days and whatever, you know what I mean? Like by the time it's already happened and then the magazine came out next week and then you finally got to find out who, you know, it wasn't as critical as now. It's like you're watching it live. It's shared 5,000 times. There's like 100 review shows that critique and rate 16 stars and 2 stars and 1 star. You know, it's just
absolutely. It should be, like I said, it's a huge advantage in a lot of ways. It should be great that we have high definition cameras when you're on your iPhone right now, and everyone can. You know, there's a lot of tech savvy people out there, and so I've been a part of these what seem like small time, you know, companies or upstarts that just have incredibly high quality, and they're live streaming the matches and stuff, and all that's great. But yeah, at the same time, if I go to the top turnbuckle and I slip, you can go rewind on your own phone, zoom in on that little thing of sweat that I slipped on, and you can critique me all day, and you can make a goofy highlight video of me slipping, and like there's a magnifying glass on it that there didn't used to be, for sure. I almost get a little excited when I hear someone's streaming is going to be all grainy. It's like, oh, good. They can't see everything as well. That'll be easier for me.
Yeah, because back in the day, it'd be like 100 people saw it happen when you bought, and now it's like by the time you get home, it's 10,000 people have seen it because you're like, it's everywhere now. Yeah.
Well, it's like, back in the day, like I remember, like what was it, like 99, going to the WWE shows, and you had your little like Polaroid or Kodak camera. And you're like, yeah, I'm getting all the best shots, and then when it comes out, it's just like all these fuzzy dots in an arena, and you're like, oh, I had good seats, you just can't tell.
Yeah, now everyone's got high quality footage of the entire show themselves on their own camera.
Exactly. So let's pause right now and let's kind of do what we do here and kind of educate the world about Alex Arsenal. So we're going to like kind of rewind your career. We've talked about how everything's going now and what's happening and what's coming up. Let's go back to how it began. Were you always a wrestling fan? Was there family member? Did you stumble across it on TV on a boring Saturday night? Like, what's your initial story in the world of wrestling?
So
I love basketball.
I have two older brothers, 4 years and 5 years older. So around the time I was like 3 or 4, they're, what's that make them, 8, 9, 10. So they were, and that was right in the prime of like Monday Night Wars, so WCW and the WWF. So that was, they were the graphic for that. And so it sounds kind of corny when people say this, but again, because I have older brothers and parents who allowed them to watch wrestling, my earliest memories, like wrestling is part of my earliest memories in life. So before I could walk, while I was still in diapers, all that stuff. Like, I tell people I was born in '92, so you want to call BS, but I remember Shawn Michaels skinning the cat in the Royal Rumble, like when it happened. And I would have only been like, I don't think I would have turned 4 yet. I would have been 3. So that's why people think I'm making it up. But I mean, that's how far back I go with it in my own life. Lifelong fan for sure. I think as I progressed through school and got older, I also, I liked two things a lot. I really liked theater and improv troupe I was in, and that, performing and making movies with my friends. If you go to my Instagram page, I've got really embarrassing, on Thursdays I do throwbacks to really goofy, stupid stuff we used to do for school projects. And I always loved that. But I also really like sports. I wasn't the best at a lot of them, but I was pretty good at a decent amount of them. And so that combination was something I needed. I needed that. I needed to find something where it was theatrical but athletic. And what more perfect thing could there be than wrestling? And wrestling in high school was probably my best sport, I would say, of all the ones I did. And another way I can explain it, my mom just reminded me, she still has footage on her old camcorder of a basketball game. They put me in a basketball team when I was 4 years old, and you see the 5 kids on the other team and my 4 teammates on one side of the court, and I'm missing, and she has to pan back to the other side of the court where the ball isn't and the game's not going on, and I'm doing cartwheels and flips, and the crowd's eating it up. All right, Nobody's watching the basketball game; they're watching the kids do flips and stuff. So you could tell there was sort of a hybrid of athleticism and enjoyment and, I don't know, attention whoreism. So, I needed something like that I want to do with my life. And a couple years ago, I found myself here in San Antonio, and I had known as a wrestling fan my whole life that this is where, Daniel Bryan learned how to wrestle at the Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy, right? I had always known that. And then sure enough, I met Rudy Gonzalez, who runs the Texas Wrestling Academy, which has its direct lineage with the Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy. And in 2017, I started training with him, made my debut in 2018, and that brings us to today. I'm loving it. It's everything I thought it'd be and more.
Okay.
More painful than I thought, I guess.
So where did the nickname America's Ass come from?
That's, like I said at the beginning, at some point somebody just said I looked a lot like Captain America, I guess, and that's, a line in the movie, that's America's Ass. And I love working out. I'm very good at squatting. I'm not very gifted in the lower half of my body. And arse is in my name, and people don't ever let that go, that arsenal. There's arse in there. It has nothing to do with the Scottish word for butt, but sure enough, people never let that go. There's always kind of arse jokes and butt jokes. But that's what, if you want to be able to do what I can do in the ring, if you want to be able to do all those backflips and stuff, you got to have a butt, I'm telling you.
So my question that I love to ask, if someone had no clue who you were and you had one moment in your career to give them to go search to find the best moment, you know what I mean? What would it be?
I think that's a pretty easy one. I mean, my career is only 2 years long so far, and for sure the highlight for me has got to be winning the Intergalactic Championship at Galactic Pro Wrestling, for sure. Because, and it's a lot bigger than me too. I mean, it was really cool. It was my first title to win, and that was, it's their heavyweight championship, and it's a promotion I love, and it's
a great promotion
in my hometown, and it's great. It's family friendly. Every show is better than the last. There's so much about that promotion that I really loved, and it's so that I do love. It's still around, and because it's my hometown. For someone like me who's so new to the industry, it was great to have that extra boost of the hometown crowd coming out, and Alex Arsenal shirts filling up the whole crowd. Nothing boosts your ego more than that. And so I already loved it, and I started earning more and more opportunities there, and trying to do my best. And then that night, December 1st, 2019, It was part of the Battle Royal, part of another match before that, and then the Battle Royal to become the inaugural Intergalactic Champion. And it's bigger than me. This is pro wrestling defined in its best way to me, is that the end of the Battle Royal was a draw. It was a 3-way tie. Refs were disagreeing and the manager disagreeing, general manager, as to who should be the champion. And so, all right, we're going to have the triple threat in January to crown the champion. That's what, I mean, they made the announcement. It's official. It's happening. I'm getting ready to go backstage. I'm all beat up. And the crowd would not stop chanting to start the match, like have it right there that night. And if you've ever wondered if you, as a fan, if you matter, if what you say or if your chants matter, at least at an indie show, it's like a choose your adventure book. You as a crowd member do get to dictate what happens in a match and in a storyline. And sure enough, Rudy decided he was going to go ahead and start the match right there, right then. And without getting too specific, which I was the whole match is just a complete blur to me. I have no recollection of the triple threat match. It was so surreal that it was happening. And sure enough, I ended up being the champ. And I have some of the footage up on my Instagram right now. Is one of the loudest reactions I've ever gotten. One of the most genuine reactions you'll ever see from me in the ring. I couldn't believe it. I didn't have a voice when I went home that night. And yeah, that was probably the best moment right there for me so far. Just because, again, it defines wrestling so well. The crowd made me the champion that night. And that's not a cheesy, goofy, like, thank you to the crowd. Like, thanks for being my fan. I mean, it's genuine. That's exactly what happened, is the crowd made me the champion that night 1 year ago. And that was awesome.
What did the title feel like in your hands? Like, I know you, obviously everyone knows what a title feels like if they want to, but when you won it yourself, it's your title.
Feels different. It feels very, very different. Alex is a great ref. He has got a great name.
Yeah.
And, the match ended and I couldn't believe it ended. You know, like, did he kick out? I don't even know. Everyone's cheering. So I guess it was a 3 count. I didn't know myself. And so Alex comes over and hands me the title, and Rudy's on the mic announcing that I won the match, and it's still not setting in. And if you go watch, it's Mel actually filmed it. She's got footage up from it, and he goes to hand me the title, and I hesitate. I don't want to touch it. Like, it's not real, or it's not mine, or I shouldn't touch it. And then I grabbed it, and that moment it was real. And it just felt surreal, as I don't know how else specifically to describe it. And I look at the pictures of me holding it up and stuff, and I don't remember those either. It's weird. I look at it and I think, like, why am I celebrating that thing? That's not mine. I shouldn't have, but it was. And so it was really
the moment
cool.
you remember most flashes by so fast, and you remember almost none of it, you know?
Yeah. So if there was any doubt left in my heart about a year and a half into wrestling at that point, that's when I knew for sure that it was for me. This is my drug of choice for sure.
Nice.
At that moment.
And you're still the champion, by the way.
Yes, sir. So we just hit the 1 year mark. I went through and looked. I wanted to make sure I had all my numbers right. I defended it 5 times in the next 2 months before the shutdown, which I felt was a decent pace as a fighting champion. I was pretty happy with that. And so if that pace had kept up, if you do the math, that'd be, 50 times by now or whatever, because it was only in 2 months. But yeah, unfortunately, since shutdown, there hasn't been a Galactic Pro show. They will be coming back, though, hopefully sooner rather than later. And then if anybody else has any interest in challenging me for the title, they just got to let me know. But yeah, 1 year in, longest reigning champion. But again, one day would have been the longest reigning if you're the first, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's the only champion. Yeah. I was actually at one of your defenses against Sledge.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at that match. That was great.
Yeah, that was another one. That'd be probably my second favorite match.
That was a pretty big moment too, man. He put you over pretty well out on the mic. How did things like that feel? Because like I said, you're trained by someone that trained Shawn Michaels, who personally I think is the greatest performer ever. You have connections with met people that have been WWE stars. You have Ring of Honor stars. You're actually in the ring defending your title that no one's ever held before against someone that's from Ring of Honor. And then the match is over, and he's just like saying how great you are. Like how you're talking about surreal moments. I mean.
Yeah, that whole match.
That's goosebumps. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It felt surreal. It feels fast. I mean, I feel like I've been working hard and all. Don't get me wrong, but it just felt like, again, this is an opportunity that they got the wrong guy. Is it supposed to be me in this spot doing this thing? this isn't going to go well. That's all I could think. And then to just kind of little cherry on top, I actually broke my toe messing around in the ring beforehand, trying to warm up before the show started. And so backstage, I couldn't fit my foot into the boot. I had to unlace all my laces all the way and then take, an unhealthy amount of ibuprofen and jam my foot in there with some help. And so I could, without the adrenaline, I couldn't walk, or at least not comfortably. And then you go through that curtain, and then I forgot for the next 30 minutes I had a broken toe. And so we went through that whole match. And again, you want to talk surreal? At one point, again, it's all kind of a blur too, but if I didn't have the footage, I wouldn't believe it. But at one point, my mom was holding a sledge for me to chop. That sentence I just said to you right now is something I never thought I would say out loud. But he found my mom and dad who were there that night, and he was beating me up in front of my mom. And then fortunately, I was able to turn it around on him, and she held one arm, and another friend held another arm, and I got some ketchup on my hand, which I don't think he was so happy about. Whoosh, right across the chest. And so now, all my mom does is brag to her friends and family and coworkers that she helped me beat up Sledge, which she did. I mean, she doesn't claim that it's accurate. And yeah, that whole match, and then at the end for him to say the things he did, and again, I absolutely, I'm not going to sit here and whine and complain the whole time, but he, the idea after that, he told me he was going to put my name in the hat with some Ring of Honor people. And I got confirmation from another source that was legitimate. Sledge is a man of his word. He wasn't just saying those things to be nice. And so some stuff was in the pipes for March. And unfortunately.
Oh, fuck. No, you were not in that March stuff with Ring of Honor.
I got no specifics. I'm not keeping anything from you. I didn't get any specifics on what.
Okay.
But my name was on the radar, and they were working on some stuff. And so
it'll be back on.
Sooner.
I remember that because that was supposed to be a big deal because Ring of Honor was supposed to, if I'm not mistaken, they came through in like November and then bailed and scheduled this whole big shit deal around like March or April, and then COVID came through and wiped that out.
Yep.
Yeah, March sucked.
Yeah, that was a hard one to swallow. That was a bummer. That's all I can say about that.
Well, I think it's that time, Josh.
I think it is, man. So we gave you. I'm always shitty about this. I always talk to the guests and they tell them about the show and everything we do, but I always leave this part out and I'll never drop it to the talent until it happens because I'm just an asshole like that. But we have a segment that we do called the Go Home segment.
Oh, okay.
What we do 20 questions. They're like usually not wrestling related, sometimes kind of slightly related to wrestling. Short answers. Usually we say 5 seconds, which is like an AEW 5 second. Like I always make that joke because that could be like 20 seconds and a 5 second count. We go back and forth. I start. No, Brad starts, and then we just go back and forth. So are you ready to go home?
Okay.
Alex Arsenal.
All right, Alex Arsenal. Without looking, what time is it right now?
Oh, without looking, I looked just a little bit ago, so it's like 7:59 or something, right?
All right.
Close. 1 minute.
Close. 7:58.
Okay.
What is the least sexy name
In wrestling?
No, just life.
Ever.
I don't know. Merle. There we go.
Merle. I was thinking Bertha, but Merle's pretty bad.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Merle's pretty bad. Even though you can sing like Haggard. But
Sweet tarts or Smarties?
Smarties.
Okay.
In 40 years, what will people be nostalgic about?
Oof. Not pro wrestling because it'll still be around and it'll be thriving. I'll tell you that.
Dig it.
What class were you the worst at in school?
Probably an 8-way tie with all of them.
Man, that hits me right in the soul. I feel that.
Everything that wasn't recess.
Fair enough. I'll take it.
Yeah. Toilet paper, over or under?
Back and forth. Just variety in my life. Both. Yeah. Depending on the day.
Whoa.
You're a madman.
Everything is in my arsenal, fellas. It's not just a gimmick. All right. I can go under, over, doesn't matter.
Wow.
All
Nice.
right. Fair enough. Can you make a pie from scratch?
No, not even close. Couldn't even
All
start.
right.
In one sentence, how would you sum up the internet?
Electronic cat database.
Oh, that's good.
That's what I use it.
Whose theme song would you use if it wasn't already taken?
Oof. Oh man, the glass shattering for Austin is just the most exciting noise you'll ever hear as a wrestling fan. So I mean, I'll just take the glass.
All right.
Entrance.
All right.
What mythical creature would improve the world the most if it existed?
Improve the? I don't know, man. I guess unicorns just for transportation. San Antonio is getting like LA. It's so congested. So anything that can fly. So I'm gonna go with the unicorn because can't they fly? Griffin, sure. Whatever. Anything with wings.
I can't believe we're sitting here in Austin listening to y'all complain about San Antonio traffic.
We're catching up. I know y'all.
I know. It's terrible here. You can't get to the gas station down the street in less than 30 minutes.
No, yeah, I know.
But who would be a better auctioneer, William Shatner or Christopher Walken?
They would be pretty bad with the tempo that they. Yeah. I guess Shatner for the emphasis on everything. The suspense. Right. Yeah.
What would be the creepiest thing you could say while passing a stranger in the street?
America's ass. I have America's ass.
Nice.
Not that I have. Don't get me wrong. Never. No, of course never.
Yeah. Would you ever eat a spider?
You know what? Yeah, I'll try everything.
I love it.
It'd be terrifying. I'd do it.
Yeah, they're not that tasty. I've done it. You're a mad scientist. What experiment would you run if money and ethics weren't an issue?
Okay. I would run all kinds of experiments on cures for COVID so that we can get back to normal. All right, throw money and ethics out the window. Let's get a cure. Let's fix this right now.
That's how you end up with a third eyeball, but I'm with it. I'm with it. In your own personal hell, where do you have to eat every single one of your meals at?
In my own car while I'm driving because I'm late for a show and the gas stations don't have microwaves because of COVID, so it's cold.
All right. Good.
Very realistic personal hell, fellas.
That is very realistic. It sounds like you've done that a time or two.
Just a few times.
Just a couple.
If Texas was represented by food, what food would it be?
Breakfast tacos. Me personally, that's my favorite part of Texas. No one else has them or does them well.
Nope.
Who do you think you could beat in a game of chess if your life depended on it?
Someone who doesn't know how to play very well.
No, you got to pick a person. Like, I need a name.
Okay. Well, probably Elijah because he'd be focused on my America's ass the whole time. So
good.
I use distraction techniques, I guess.
That's a good strategy.
Be distracted, yeah. If you had a robot for the entire day, what would you have it do?
Everything on my to-do list that isn't the gym and sleeping so that I can handle those. He would even eat for me. Feed me, I guess. I got to take the food in. But yeah, my laundry, dishes, all the real simple stuff so I can just be at the gym the whole day.
Like Rosie from Jetsons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. When did you learn about kayfabe?
Let's see, September 6th, 2005. I saw, still to this day, one of the best matches probably ever on Raw between Edge and Matt Hardy. Mm-hmm. And the Lita feud stuff was going on between the two of them, and it was just the most vicious thing I'd ever seen, and it was so awesome. And a lot of stuff happened where my brain clicked, and I said, "Why are they back the next week? Shouldn't they both be in the hospital after this?" And it's a match I'll always remember, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. But that was the moment where I was like, "Hey, maybe I could do this too," because these guys did a lot of cool stuff, and they aren't dead. That's kind of cool.
Nice, nice.
And then here's the final question, the 20th question. The last couple of people have gotten it right. Most of them have still gotten it wrong.
Christmas tree question. I know what Alex is going to say here. I feel like I know this one.
Uh-oh.
Do pineapples go on pizza?
Oh, if you guys have been following me on social media, you know they go on pizza. I don't care if I'm the devil incarnate. They are fantastic on pizza. I'm a personal trainer. You can take my dietary recommendations.
It's the Christmas episode of The Pit, and pineapples go on pizza. That's fucking right. Alex Arsenal, America's ass, said it here. Pineapples go on pizza.
It's good for you.
I'm picture too, just so we don't have to see that anymore.
I win. I think that definitely puts me back on top. We take that question gets asked every week, and Alex, I gotta tell you, I've been tumbling the last few weeks. Josh books people, and I'm pretty sure he just asked them outright. The last few weeks have been terrible for my favor, but I am back on top thanks to Alex Arsenal.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you get with me on a meal plan if you guys want. We'll go over your micros, your macros, your calorie deficit, whatever your goals are. But pineapple is going on pizza in your meal plan. It's fruit. It's good for you.
I'm all about it.
Wow, we're doing so well. All serious, man. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope everyone watching enjoyed it.
Alex, tell everybody where to follow you. Shout out your social medias or whatever.
Yeah, it's real simple. If you just look up Arsenal, you're going to get a lot of UK soccer team stuff. But Alex Arsenal on Facebook will get you me, and Alex Arsenal on Instagram. But it's got to have 2 X's in the Alex and an underscore, because there was a lot of football, soccer fans already named Alex, I guess. So Alex Arsenal, either Facebook, Instagram. That's where you can find me. If you want any merchandise, Alex Arsenal T-shirts, they're only $10. $2 goes to the food bank in New Braunfels or here in San Antonio. You can just get with me if you don't live anywhere near me or whatever. You can get with me on Facebook or Instagram. I can send them out to you. And if you want to see me in action, despite everything going on crazy in the world, thankfully, December 19th for Atlas Wrestling, going to be at Battle of the Crown in Houston. And it's just $10 person, only $5 if you're a kid. And you got AWP is doing some crazy, crazy stuff and really taking off. So you definitely got to come. Face mask, social distancing enforced, all that good stuff. Battle of the Crown coming up December 19th.
Hell yeah.
I love it. That's how you end it. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for coming to the pit, Alex.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all soon.
Wow.
That was great.
Pineapple
Totally
goes on pizza. Who
Why are you bringing up old shit?
Who would have thought?
Why are you bringing up old shit?
It's Christmas time in the pit. Pineapple goes on pizza. Onita picture right there. All I can say is it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
This is my hell. My least favorite holiday, and now you're talking this
you
stuff.
know what? In your own personal hell, Josh, there's always pineapple on pizza.
Why do I keep doing this show every week?
Hey, real talk though. Everybody make sure you check out everybody we plug on a weekly basis. Make sure you're checking out GCWA's got a show. AWR, AEW, APW's got a show this weekend. Man, there's so many good shows coming up. I know COVID's kind of striking, but keep in mind, like, everybody's doing social distancing. Everybody's wearing masks. If you don't feel safe, you can always reach out to a promotion and see how they're streaming and support them that way. But show some love where you can, because it's tough times in the wrestling world. And, you know, there's a lot of great talent. If the pit teaches you one thing, that there's a ton of great talent in Texas.
And yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, support the people that we support. Support independent wrestling. Watch wrestling. Tell everybody about wrestling. Tell your neighbors about wrestling.
Put
They don't like
it.
I was finally getting over it.
It's just, this is the greatest Christmas present I could have gotten.
And that's the end of the show, everyone.
See you later, guys.